And I must say, that is one of the best questions on this subject I've ever been asked. It was absolutely spot on.
When you have a strong vocabulary, it comes with the downside of you being too verbose as well, oftentimes.
Yes,
And so you aren't as precise in your speech.
absolutely. Anubhav, that is a very, very acute observation, if I may say so. That's absolutely right. I know I've been guilty of being overly verbose. Hands up, I was guilty of showing off. I don't think I could have helped it. It's how I was. I like to show off with words, but you have to appreciate that not everybody else is going to enjoy you doing it. I remember way back as a local radio commentator talking about, I forget what the issue was, it doesn't really matter, but I say, and I would also say in parentheses, and at the other end of the press box, I heard an experienced and hard journalist shout at me, brackets. And I thought, and that was a great lesson. Why did I have to say parentheses when brackets would have done?
Right.
And that's just one example of just unnecessary showing off, and that's what it has been. Although I like to think it happens less often now, because the older you get, the less perhaps you feel the need to show off. You can still be guilty of it, and I must say that is one of the best questions on this subject I've ever been asked. It was absolutely spot on.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. One of the phrases that I keep reminding myself of is minimum necessary length. So I want to be able to describe something articulately and using the least number of words that I have to use to describe the topic, as opposed to going overboard when it comes to my use of words and phrases to describe the same thing. So minimum necessary length is something I keep reminding myself. But as you said, oftentimes you do forget, but it's a friendly reminder to
Yes.
help you stay, on course.
Yes, it's a very good reminder in commentary, because the sort of the great moments, the memorable moments, the Aguero goals and so on, those are rare. You have to remember they're rare. So most of the time, that isn't what it is. And as a commentator on a regular game where it's United 1, Rovers 1, City 1, Arsenal 1, whatever, those are the bread and butter, and they don't. The danger is to try and articulate them all as if they were it. They're not. And for the most part, economy is a good thing. As a commentator, the rule, the first rule I was always told is try not to speak unless you can add to the picture. Right. That is the television commentator. That's the big rule that you are given when, as I did, you move from radio to television. Now, if you follow that to its ultimate, actually, you'd never speak at all, because generally speaking, the pictures are self-evident. But which is why a television commentator, myself included, can be an irritant, because you're telling people what they can already see and know. And you sometimes, I do, shout at the television and say, shut up, but if there is a role for a commentator, then it is to try and add to the picture. Right. However, when a goal is scored, I always try somewhere within my sort of outpouring to leave, if possible, at least a 2, 3, 4 second spell for the atmosphere to do the work for me. When the ball hits the net, leave it, and then come in with whatever it is you have to say about the goal. Although, of course, now we're going back to empty stadiums, that technique might have to change a little bit.